Hey fellow breachers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Pacific Drive, Episode 7, Much Needed Salvage. In order to figure out where to go for that, when you mouse over these...
You trying to figure out how to pay me a visit? Don't bother. By regular standards, I'm about 10 miles west of you. In zone terms, consider me on another planet. There's a valley of perpetual instability enclosing my corner of the zone, and yes, I chose to live here for that exact reason. Leave an old woman in peace.
So when you're looking for specific resources, rubber is most commonly going to be found in vehicle density, so that we can scrap tires. And then chems and electronics are going to be found in ARDA buildings, which is going to be mostly in building density. So we want to plot a course that... And I like this course, E4 to E1, because the junction conditions, as you can see, are perpetual stability for both. So we can head back to Serum via E4. And we know that the storms won't close in on us because of that perpetual stability. And Serum has maximum buildings, and the other pathway... has some anchor energy. And that's more or less how I would say you plot courses, is to figure out what resources are really needed, and then the course that it takes to get there. I only have one scan, so I couldn't just... let's top up our batteries and our fuel. So, I could only scan... a single spot. I couldn't scan both. Once we have a better tower, we'll be able to have more scanner charges. So now we know we swerve hard and our lights fail, turn on the wipers, and the fuel fails. But yeah, there's a few that I really like. Quirk spies. Some quirks are worth keeping. Like one that's really nice is driver door closes, all doors close. Yeah, yes please. That sounds pretty good to me, So not all quirks are annoying, much like not all anomalies are annoying. Most quirks are annoying, most anomalies are bad, but there's some good ones. Oh, sweet. It's gonna be really easy to get these anchor energies because they're on the path. So the plots that you course are not plots that you have to necessarily take, as you might have just noticed. I didn't plot to come here, but I was able to come here anyway. So we got a radiated house and anchor energy with a whole lot of can openers around us. Oops, wrong. Hey, you guys. I have no idea where those crystals went. Most of it seems to be plastic. The crystals do slightly glow, which makes it a little easier. But I'm not going to turn on loot highlighting. I just wanted to demonstrate it earlier. To show you what it does. It does make life a lot easier, but you can also see through walls and things. Which is a little weird. So this is a building that you can't even get into. It's condemned and locked up in a way that a player doesn't have access. Boo. I'm not going to bother with that one. So in terms of vehicles, the ARDA Investigator, the box truck, and the and the squires are really the ones that I would like go out of my way for. And later in the game, maybe not even squires, depending on what materials are needed. Oh, there's a broken bunny. Ow. Yo, you listen to me. Get off my car. So broken bunny is a new anomaly type. It's the opposite of a happy hare. It just damages your car. And you can get it off your car, sometimes by grabbing them, but more reliably by... Oh, wait, broke my windshield. Thanks, bunny. It's the windshield of my armored door, too, which is even more annoying. I also turned my headlights on. Hey, Backroad Runner, thank you for the resub. Oh, I forgot about the community challenge of painting the car. I apologize. I will be doing that as soon as I get back to civilization. El Garage. Don't let me forget. Yell at me if I'm primed to forget. You guys spent the channel points, so I will absolutely... Maybe I can even do it out here if I find a decal and paint. I just found gray paint. So... The Arta decals are fun to have. You want to make it look like you're a government employee. Arta, if you haven't really been too focused following along, is the name of the government project that that kicked off this whole mess. You know, like Black Mesa. I generally don't keep paint. Sometimes you can get chems by breaking them down, but I don't bother. Actually, there's an Arta investigator over there. So, one moment. Arta investigators are kind of awesome. Ooh, a big dumpster pearl. A spare headlight. Spare repair putty. There's a lot of rubber here that I can grab. There's an armored door. The armored door is in pretty bad condition. But with the putty that I just got, I might be able to grab it anyway. Let's do it. Let's get an armored trunk door. So for that, I need to grab my liberator. I left... No, here it is. God, there's so many can openers. Alright, it's pretty busted up, but it can be repaired. Also, I placed the charge close enough to the tire that I liberated the tire as well. Actually, let's go with a sealing kit. And a little putty. Good as new-ish. I'll put the other putty in the side storage. I'm trying to fill up my back storage first. Oh, actually, let me eat that. Because I am irradiated. Now, one of the resources we came out here for was rubber. I can save myself a whole lot of rubber by grabbing the spare tire that I popped off. And actually, I might grab the Liberator and steal that tire too. I'm gonna scrap that one. This one already has a flat. The matter regenerator will repair things, but it won't fix issues, as far as I'm aware. So if it's like a flat or misaligned, it will still require a sealing kit or a mechanics kit or whatever kit it is to remedy that problem. See if I can't do a better Jenga job. That's okay. Now the Liberator that I'm holding does cost thermostat crystals, so it's not a cheap thing to... Oh, and that misfired anyway. Yeah, misfired twice. Oh well. Sometimes it won't attach. So, I'll take the rubber. Oh, you know what I just realized? This zone doesn't have stable exits. So we're not going to be able to get to Serum from here. I did not check the route map well enough. Oh well. Which means that I can loot goblin all I want, because we can't get beyond this point. As you can see, this does not lead here. Or actually, it could lead there, but I need to gate from here to unlock it as a zone that I can then pass through in the future. Is actually the more correct answer. Nope. There we go. So we did come here for electronics and chemicals, so there's some chemicals. And there should be electronics in the lab computer. And the receiver. Ooh, even more repair putty. My lord. A lot of repair putty. I think that's everything. It kind of looks like the Ghostbusters car. Starting to have that kind of look. Oh, let's get the plasma too. Can you scrap any of the storage containers? No. The storage containers themselves are not scrappable. If you scan something, it will tell you what you can do with it. So if it says, like, hands, it means it's just openable. Oh, my flare landed on me that I hucked. So, like, here's an example. This dumpster, if I open the log, recommended tool hands, meaning that it can't be scrapped with a tool. You can only open and close it. I'm very glad you asked, however, because these are things that, like, as a person that has a lot of hours logged in this game, I forget that that's a thing that I would even need to mention. Because it's like, how am I throwing the flare? Holding right click. You light it with left click and you can hold right click, and the longer you hold, the farther you throw. So you can really yeet a flare. You can also toss it just like barely by slightly hitting right click, or really send it by holding it to max. Putty only stacks to 3, so yeah, I have putty in both storages because they only stack to 3. Oops. Repair items typically stack to 3. Seal kits, mechanic kits, putty, whereas most things stack to 20. Like flares and the like. Plasma is another one of those resources that really early on, you're probably going to want to collect it when you see it. Later on, it might not be as meaningful to you, but early on it is. My character has a quirk. I kept dropping the hammer. Oh, so we have a local storm coming in too, which is that yellow blob on the radar map. So this zone does have perpetual stability, but with that said, that doesn't necessarily mean there won't be localized storms. And there's different types of storms. Some storms are a lot more tame than others. So some storms are just like windy weather that might like blow you off the road a little bit. Other storms might be, without spoiling anything, way worse. Like, so much worse. As, of course, the game gets harder as it goes on. So, there is some ARTA buildings around there that I'll go to try to get some chems and electronics, and then we'll bail out. Oh, that's a wriggling... That's a wriggling wreck. I didn't get close enough. They look like normal wrecks, but they kind of glow that sort of creepy, eerie, I'ma mess up your life glow. You know, the way your mother-in-law might look. Radiation. Some hot dust. So the reason I was like tossing the magnetic hammer is it uses durability whether or not it impacts with stuff. So what I was trying to do, and failing of course, but what I was trying to do is throw it instead of impacting it to save durability on it. But I was poorly timing it entirely and ended up smashing it up for no reason. Oh my lord, so much putty. Hey, 2 chems in this one. Not stand on a can opener. Oh, it's a group meeting. Is that a squire? No, it doesn't have a roof rack. Squires are also like this color yellow, but they have roof racks. It's just an abandoned car. I don't have a Liberator anymore, but I could still scrap Squire pieces for thermostat crystals. Which is way easier to get from Squires than it is from tourists that fling the thermostat crystals everywhere. So unless you have loot highlighting turned on, it's very hard to find. I wonder if that localized storm is heading my way. Yeah, I'm very honestly surprised by the amount of putty I'm getting. It's an unusual amount, to say for sure. The other thing is the tools. Little pro tip here: the tools will scrap in the matter deconstructor back at base pretty decently. So if you have room, don't use your tools until they go to 0. Put them away when they're really low HP, and then deconstruct them back at home, and you'll actually get some of the resources you invested in them back. Far less important really early on, because really early on your tools are cheap. Later on, when you're spending rare resources for tools, it can be a bit of a lifesaver, especially if the tools have precious resources invested in them. So that local storm, whatever it was, passed by. Because I didn't scan this zone, I don't know what the storm was exactly. The cabins don't typically have chems, so I'm not going to bother stopping at the cabins. They're better for like fabrics, rubber, well, not rubber, fabrics and plastic and that kind of stuff. I'm also getting too close to this gate that I wanted to activate, so I'm going to back up. Oh! Hello! Do not touch me. Actually, never even attached. I didn't need to impact hammer it. So as you can see, this gateway too close, and you can see that I have to be about here in order to be able to activate it. And the easiest gates to activate are the ones that are like on main roads, so you don't have to go bushwhacking for them. Because sometimes if you don't scout out the terrain ahead, it might be like up a steep hill or something like that, and very difficult subsequently to get to, which sucks when you're fleeing in a pinch. Alright, let's send it. What kind of run do you want me to go on next? Continue with some resources? Or side story? We haven't done any of the side story. Or main story? Or up to me, or whatever else. Cheers. Ooh. That was a dumpster, a friendly dumpster just like teleported in out of nothing. That can even happen to anchor points and stable anchors. Sometimes they'll just like appear out of nowhere and materialize, which is pretty cool. So, without forgetting, we are going to decal this car up.
No. That thing you saw was not Bigfoot. Never was. Never will be.
Don't let Tobias and Francis fill your head with that nonsense.
What does she have against Bigfoot? There's an example of, yeah, well, great. Thanks, game, for proving me wrong. You will occasionally get materials back, but clearly the game was like, ha, you lied to them, and didn't actually do it for me. But here's the matter regenerator. So the steel panel and steel door that are stuck in here are now full HP. Because we left them in there for a run. This is a bigger dumpster pearl, so I suspect it will give me more stuff. Ooh, look at all those chemicals! Oh, dumpster pearl. I love you. I'm going to stick the spare tire in the matter restoration. And then I am actually going to pull the panels that I had repaired in here out and scrap them for metal. Because I don't have a parts locker. This headlight is the oldest one in the car. So, all of your car parts, except for the auto dock, which is that thing, will wear out over time. Headlights, everything, internals, even side storages, everything will wear out over time and need to be replaced. So it can be useful to, if you have spare parts, just to get ahead and throw it out. So I recycled that because I had a fresh headlight. Okay. So, I will leave the detailing of the car last because I don't know if I'm going to be keeping all the same parts. Also, yeah. Did we pick up a new quirk? No. One of the lockers are full. That's cool. Kind of like a accomplishment, if anything. So we wanted to get the light replacement kit to get the electrician's kit. I don't really care about the light replacement kit. It's not a kit you really use much at all. Spoiler, but like headlights don't break super often unless you're smashing into stuff constantly, so you don't really need to replace your headlights regularly. And this uses pretty much all the remaining stable energy I have, but this gives me the electrician's kit, which allows me to fix the quirks we have. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll get a new Liberator, I guess. God, we have so much putty. And, like, nothing's really all that broken, as you can tell. Like, the hood and, like, a back door. This one, it's a little damaged, but, like, probably not enough to even warrant putty. So, fixing the wiper dashboard gauge and fixing the steering wheel headlight dim. We have a quirkless car. Those weren't like... I mean, the headlight dimming was kind of annoying, but like, I mean, it wasn't too bad. I'm gonna get a fresh scrapper and fresh pry bar. Because when your tools are really low HP, and you start a new run and they break, it can really stop you dead in your tracks. It's not so good. But because when you're in your garage, you have tons of material, it's very cheap to just make fresh tools. So, car is at 90%. I think maybe putty on that lightning rod, and that's probably the only thing I'm concerned about. Also, wait, we don't need 6 putty in one car. That's like a nutty putty amount. So, yeah. I like lightning rods, so let's keep that in working order. As you can see, the putty has less of effect on the lightning rod, which is true of all side components. So like side storages, lightning rods, things like that, they don't repair as well with putty by design. I only have 0.2 stable energy, so that's probably not enough to unlock really much of anything, I'd imagine. It's basically, yeah, 0 available, so there's not enough. Dumpster time. 1 chemical. Well, thank you. I do like my chems. Car's at 90. That's fine. And you guys want me to continue with the side story. Got it. Find a zone receiver. So, before I leave, it's time for the community goal of blue car with flowers. It's the only decal I have. And, I mean, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. You don't need to paint all pieces the same color. It's a choice. Can you only hit the dumpster once? You can continue hitting it, but there's diminishing returns. So, like, if I hit the dumpster now, it might not give me anything, or it might give me some junk. Nothing. Yeah. Can you spray bumpers? No. So if you look at the sort of like heads-up display, you see the left mouse click like decal paper icon. That indicates that it can be decaled. And then if I like look at tires or bumpers, it can't be decaled. Kind of looks a bit like a Austin Powers wagon, I think is the nicest way to say it. Most family-friendly way of saying it. Also a little bit by like the Mystery Machine, but I would need green paint. But I don't know, I like it. I like it, I like it. Alright, so we are all repaired up. So there's one other thing I wanted to mention. As soon as you depart, as soon as you zone out onto the road, what ends up happening is it will autosave the start of your run. So if you want to like start a run and you're like, oh, you know what? I really didn't want that. Have 2 saves that like hop between one another. Because I just saved 1 and 2. So if I don't like the run I start, not that I plan on saves coming, but I'm just saying it for your advice. If you don't like the run you start and you're like, oh man, I went the wrong direction, you can load the previous one. So 2 copies. Can you craft decals and paint? No. Sort of. No. Yeah. I'll say no, but there's like a caveat-ish in that. So you guys wanted side missions, and I can either go west 3 hours or go north through E4 out to E3 6 hours. So what direction to go for zone receivers? West or north? Thank you for tuning in to Pacific Drive, which streamed as a marathon one time only March 16th and March 17th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind that both no feedback can be incorporated because this was streamed as a marathon one time only, and also I ask for no spoilers so people reading the comments don't have the game spoiled for them. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com or the description of this video have a link to it. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, viewers that turned out for this marathon, and viewers like you as well that made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow breachers.